Keeping with fintech, the Payment app is a mobile payment service. It's setting its sights on challenging global giants PayPal and Square in the B2C and B2B markets. It's just launched a $1 million equity crowdfunding campaign. Founder Allan Evans is on Skype from the heartland of AFL, Queensland, to explain what gives his fintech unicorn potential. Allan, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. I should start by asking, are you a Brisbane Lions fan? But let's just go to the app. Tell us, one of the things that fascinates me about it is that your tech offers a great deal of data insights to the business. Tell us about those.
Yeah, that's right. That's probably the secret sauce to what we do, and the cornerstone of our tech stack is building the data engine, the AI-driven data engine, which supplements and backs into the payment services that we provide. So that's the core part of what we're offering, and what makes us different to all the other payment gateways, which, to use an old telco term, these days, they're just a pipe. We don't want to be the pipe. We want to play with what's going on inside and add value to greater experiences for the customer who's doing the payment and the businesses who are having to process that and give them a whole range of different data to work with to sell more and reduce fraud.
So as part of that process, are you sort of doing the analysis? Because, I mean, we're all overwhelmed with a whole bunch of data. It all lands on my desk. I just don't have enough time in the day to really do anything with it. Is that how the Payment app helps?
Well, the key thing is about, I guess, what the data is and what you're providing. So what we're doing is providing data to people throughout the whole supply chain. So it could be the retailer who is selling you the pair of shoes when you go in store to buy them. It could be the manufacturer who made the shoe. It could be part of the part supplier who provided the soles or the leather. It could be the bank who's financing. It could be a bunch of different people. So firstly, it's about the SKU level, the line item data within the transaction, but it's also about who that customer is, the demographic data, geographic, psychographic, preferences and trends, all of that stuff we can package up and deliver it back to those people in that whole supply chain process who would like to get vision, because at the moment, they simply don't have access to that data. If it exists, it's sitting in the point of sale and no one could get access to it.
Allan, can you just give us an indication on your journey so far? How new is this technology and the Payment app?
Well, no one else is doing what we're doing. Like I said before, the payment space is just full of people running pipes between A and B. So we're bringing to the party a whole bunch of technology and products that aren't being offered. And to the customers out there running online businesses, web businesses, or mobile apps, they are getting it in the neck consistently from scheme cards and banks on chargebacks and fraud. They've got no way of validating the true nature of a customer, the true validity of a customer, and the credit card information, for example, that they're loading into the system to use for payment. So we bring those solutions to the party, and we help those businesses to reduce the leakage that is, it can be pretty significant when you're running a mobile-based, mobile app business.
So just to clarify on that, you know, I'm not sort of running a small business that uses these sorts of payment businesses. Normally they bear the cost of that sort of fraud happening rather than the bank itself?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. The banks are only too happy to push that back on the merchants, and there's very little ability to go back to the bank and say, wait a second, this was a valid transaction. The customers received my goods. They're very happy with them. They've got the goods. They're using them. But now I've got to give the money back. So it's a pretty tough call to make. The distinction between, if you like, valid fraud and invalid fraud. You know, customers who basically have decided to buy the product, then call the bank and say, "Oh no, charge it back, please. I didn't validate that purchase." It's rife, and it's costing business millions.
Wow.
Now, Allan, tell us about your growth plans. I understand you're looking to raise through on market. Can you just run us through what you're hoping to achieve there?
That's right. So we've launched an equity crowdfund raise with on market. That's going we just passed the minimum very quickly. So we're now actually, the raise is on, which is very pleasing. And just to correct you, Simon, I'm actually not the founder. The founder will be listening to this, and I'm sure he's already blowing my phone up saying, "Hey, listen, dude, you're just the CEO." But no, so we've raised the crowdfund. That's moving forward now. We're already at about $325,000 at last look. We raised through Cornerstone Investment $500,000 earlier this year. So we're moving forward to to underwrite and fund the business with the development of our payment gateway, our B2B and B2C apps, because our business does three things: the payment services, data engine with AI-driven data engine, and then the third part of our operation are actually our own B2B and B2C payment apps in hospitality and petrol and a whole bunch of vertical markets. So these funds will help us to finish that development, commercialise, and get to market.
Well, apologies to Benjamin Banks, the founder. You can put down the phone, and we've given him some credit now. But I do want to ask you, Allan, what's the longer-term goal for you guys? You want to get to 1 million merchants in the next 12 months, 2 years. How's it all going to play out?
Well, those who know me would be expecting me to say nothing short of world domination will suffice. But let's start with a little bit more pragmatic view. So we certainly want to solidify and really get our foothold firm in Australia. But with the nature of fintech, the nature of our business, we certainly have aspirations to take this thing overseas. We've got our eyes on about 7 different markets at the moment. We have a board that is full of some very, very good people. Not all of our board are resident here in Australia. That gives a bit of an indication about where our horizon is for one day where we might go. But certainly for the moment, our plan is solidify, get our foothold and foundation in Australia, and then in a sort of a 12 to 24 month time frame, start moving overseas with what we've got in like-minded countries with systems. I mean, USA obviously massive market, and it's not actually just one market. It's probably more like 50. But when you look at a comparison between their point of sale in store, their ability to take scheme cards versus what we're doing here in Australia, the gap is huge. And that gap is certainly something that we could target in a very selective way.
That, as a founder, that'd be the answer I'd want my CEO to have. I was hoping you were going to say I was either going to buy PayPal or Square first, but we'll wait that for another time. Tell me, as a merchant, what does it cost me? Just take me through the business model.
Our business model is based around subscription. So again, the old world way, and keep in mind, payments came out of the whole financial system that's been built around a deposit-taking mentality or a withdrawal-taking mentality. These days, we live in a transaction society. So the rates that businesses are being charged now very much reflect a model that was happening 30, 40 years ago. So we're wanting to go with a software as a service type model, a subscription-based model, and we're certainly not looking at this incredible impost on a per transaction basis. So we'd rather go with serious various subscription plans, and then we tack on data services like anti-money laundering, know your customer or KYC, and a whole bunch of other data services as well, so that we can help our customers sell more but drive down fraud.
Allan Evans from the Payment App, thank you very much for your time today. We can't wait to follow your progress.
Thanks very much.
We'll see you at the grand final at the Gabba sometime next year.
Oh, Simon.